What things really make you cringe? Recordings of my own voice. Why does every other voice on the planet sound like Morgan Freeman and mine sounds like Gilbert Gottfried on helium? Mine sounds like goddamn Donald Duck. When I remember my high school interactions in general. Not so much an interaction, but I took my senior year school photo as a joke and thought I would be super goofy looking. I had long hair, I'm a guy by the way, and pulled it into a weird top pony and flared it out. I kept looking behind me at the line for some kind of approval, and the photographer even asked me 3 times if this is what I really wanted. Now I have to live with that for the rest of my life when I pull out the yearbook. Extreme self-delusion. Usually it's funny enough to make up for it, but sometimes it's just so sad to see somebody who can't accept reality. Amber Lynn on YouTube. She's about 600 pounds. Has been trying to lose weight for 4 years online. She recently said, instead of 2 sandwiches, I had 4 half sandwiches. The delusion is strong. Edit, to everyone actually trying to get better, good on you. Keep it up. This girl has time, makes a lot of money and is still bullshitting with her health. She says doctors tell her she's healthy. At 600 pounds. She's not trying. She needs help. Self-diagnosed psychopaths. Reminds of that I am a sociopath AMA Reddit thread where he unironically said, hey, a lot. The time I was talking too loud at a wedding when I wasn't supposed to, and everyone at the wedding turned around to see what wouldn't shut up. I was across a table from some friends who did this during the reception speeches because they didn't realize what was happening. The bride's brother is a pretty well-known actor and happened to be 5 feet away from them giving his speech, which he stopped in the middle to yell at them to shut up. I hope it was Stephen Baldwin. When I remember that I did the I do have a boyfriend, he just goes to another school thing. As an adult with a real girlfriend in another country, I feel like a high school fraud when it comes up. Lol, how did that happen? Don't worry, I believe you, winking face. Secondhand embarrassment. It makes me physically ill. Someone obviously showing off at doing something when they're not that good at it really gets to me. The worst is when someone is singing along to a song, but instead of just vibing and singing for their own pleasure, they're looking around to make sure that other people are watching them sing. It's the worst. Just to be clear, doing something badly just because you enjoy it is encouraged and celebrated. You should see me on a dance floor. It's like an epileptic octopus. It's when the person doing it thinks they're good at it and has that smugness or attitude and is doing it for praise from other people, but they're not actually good at that thing. Watching the auditions for X Factor makes me feel sick. I relate to this so hard, I have to mute the TV I'm watching when a character is about to say, do something embarrassing. Seeing an adult complain like a child to waiters, cashiers, etc. My aunt flipped her at a game store employee because they didn't give her a good amount of money for a copy of Final Fantasy on PS3. Keep in mind she's in her 40s. Remembering my past. You know, in rom-coms a lot of them start out with the characters literally bumping into each other? When I was in elementary school I tried to orchestrate that with my crush in a subtle fashion. I was back to back with her having a conversation with someone else, and I kept taking a step back to try and have her bump into me once she turns around, and she kept having to adjust where she was standing so she wouldn't bump into me, you know, like a normal person. I eventually had practically moved her into the corner of the classroom, before she sorta just ducked out and went somewhere else. That memory haunts me. When people make a joke but nobody laughs and it's just quiet. I can occasionally be funny, but I must have a weird, too subtle delivery, because there's usually a couple seconds of delay before my friends, coworkers laugh in a I'm just now processing what you said and hey that's hilarious kind of way. But for those few seconds when I think it missed, my soul shrivels up a bit. Those videos of guys trying really hard to be biting their lips and looking down and brushing their hair back. They make me cringe so hard. So literally everyone on TikTok. When people get that mentality of, I am one bad because they are really just one annoying. I know someone just like this. They genuinely think they're a bad and it only serves to make them even more cocky and unbearable to be around. How on earth they have friends, I'm not sure. Thinking you're bad often goes hand in hand with arrogance, crazy. A suburban white kid acting like a gangster because he listens to rap. I'ma get my crew after your crew. His parents call your parents. My whip is harder than yours. His mom's minivan got more bumper stickers than your mom's minivan. People who post vague status updates on social media, such as, the most horrible thing just happened to me, without providing any context. It's a cheap way for people to fish for attention, and it creates unnecessary worry for the people who care about them. Just got back from the emergency room. Bonus points if they post a picture of the hospital bracelet. YouTube comment threads that are essentially an endless string of "who else is listening in 2020?" Or the new trend, nudity 0%. Auto-tune 0%. Bad music 0%. Talent 100%. Early teen me. So many cringy stuff I did. I hope all of my old friends have forgotten about me. Yes. The worst time to look back to is when you were like 11 to 15 years old. Any story about someone having a birthday party and no one shows up. It happened to my little brother when we were kids and I've been scarred from it since. People dying, abuse, grief, loss, horror etc. does not elicit the same emotional upset I get when I hear those kind of birthday stories. Edit, why are you all responding with stories that devastate me, man? Y'all. Edit 2, all of you are upsetting me. This. I threw a surprise birthday party for my wife several years ago, invited 7 couples that we were friends with. 6 couples RSVP'd yes, and 1 couple said no. Come night of the party, I cleaned the house, made 2 batches of chili, had wine and snacks ready to go, everything waiting so that when people showed up, we'd all be there when she got home from work. No one came. I cleaned up all the decorations before the wife got home. 1 couple had a sick baby, 1 couple just straight up ghosted us, 1 had to work late, and IDR the rest. The couple that had to work late showed up 3 hours later and we had a great time with them, but I didn't have the heart to tell my wife the whole story until a year or 2 later. For what it's worth, are not friends with most of those people now, sadly. Or maybe fortunately. Public proposals. Videos of people at sporting events eating their boogers. Horny dudes trying to get a woman's attention while she's shopping or at work. Women who act drunk after 2 beers for attention. My coworker who told me her last boyfriend told her that her vagina feels like f***ing a bowl of macaroni. Guys being overly aggressive at women who are plainly uninterested. I had to watch this 50-year-old guy beg to buy my 24-year-old friend a drink. She said no thank you like 6 times. Please. Please just 1 drink. Please. It hurt to watch. Coming across some rising issue or unpopular celebrity being posted about on Reddit and someone saying, "Reddit do your thing," like we actually have a huge impact on shit outside the website. Lol. We did it, Reddit. People who talk about, "Oh I am so ugly," when they're literally the most attractive person in the room, clearly just so people would compliment them. This doesn't go for looks only but for skills too. A sign of low self-confidence. I think a lot of the time the reason they are the most attractive person in the room is because they tie their self-worth tightly to their looks, so they work harder on maintaining themselves. And probably feel like if they don't get validation that others think they look good, their own worth is diminished. I think it's more sad that cringy. When people post selfies of them crying. No joke, my friend's sister posted crying selfies of her and her kids when they had their dog put to sleep. With the dead dog. Like, that's a private moment of grief, not a selfie opportunity.